Greetings, namaste, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to listeners in Guyana and globally. Thanks to Brother Sheridan team for another very informative program. Today is a very, very sad day as we remember the 18 girls and one boy who tragically lost their life. Our condolences, our sympathy, our best wishes for strength for the parents and families. We also offer our prayers, duas, and felicitations for the speedy recovery of those who are injured. It is a very, very sad time, and I hope the government of the Guyana will take responsibility together with everyone else around civil society and find out the cause and find out solution. For so many bars in a dormitory, it tells a story, all is not well. So we need, with the oil revenues, a thorough evaluation, perhaps stopping one of the big projects immediately as we celebrate our 57th anniversary on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, Guyana is going through ups and downs. I don't have to tell you. It's in the media. Others are reading. Before I wake up in the morning from 3 o'clock, I receive messages from the Middle East because they're 7 and 8 hours ahead. They're more in tune with many of us. As we go to our 58th year after Friday, I have two simple recommendations. To improve Guyana's management of the oil and gas industry, two new embassies, one in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, and one in the Kingdom of Norway in Oslo. Those two countries are the bastion for managing the oil revenue, helping their people, helping their citizens first, doing all the infrastructure and managing the natural resource fund. For them is a sovereign wealth fund. It is time after Friday for all parties pulling down one after another to stop. When is this going to stop? We need an extra sign from Almighty. Election is over. The government has to work with the 6 races in Guyana. No if, or but. I have evidence in my iPhone of one top PPP officer referring to Dr. Vincent Adams, a patriot, an outstanding American in the gas and oil industry. You know what a PPP high person said who's connected, heavily connected? It is unfortunate that he, meaning Dr. Adams, Vince Adams himself, got entangled with politics. Otherwise, I am sure he would have been retained. Now tell me in the Lord's name, politics is over. Dr. Vince Adams is giving ID. He showed by his performance. Why in the earth's name do we have to have politics? Politics for the election. Election is over. Please press on. Public leaders need to manage with one nation, one people, one destiny as our motto. Party affiliation, that culture must stop. Well, Exxon Mobil is in the news with all the cases, right or wrong. But what I can tell you from my back channel, and it might be shocking, but it's true. Almighty is above. Fortune is a 500 USA corporation. They're subject, like any American corporation, to what is known as the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. I am a former IRS agent in New York, among many of the caps I wore for a number of years. And my back channel tells me that a number of Guyanese Americans who are in touch with their senators and congresspersons have approached the Department of Justice for Department of Justice to consider looking at Exxon in Guyana in relation to the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Well, if Exxon has nothing to hide, oh, there'll be nothing. Investigations happen every day, every minute, every hour. But if Exxon is in a sticky wicket, in cricket terms, well, the googly is going to bowl. If there's a sticky wicket, the ball is turning, and no, unless you're a skillful, extraordinary batsman, you can cover those three stumps. So, and the citizens are in where? Maryland, Washington, Atlanta, New Jersey, North Carolina, and New York. That's the best of my knowledge. I heard just now as I'm coming on, Connecticut is also mustering support to ask their people to find out. Well, if there's nothing wrong, I also happen to know reliably with documentation. I'm one of those who love evidence because I paid a heavy price in my earlier life without evidence. Now I got more evidence. In the USA, it's known as the Whistleblower Act. And a concerned American Guyanese has filed a Whistleblower Act in Washington in the case where Exxon is getting a receipt for paying taxes in Guyana without paying the tax. I hope my information is not correct, but from all my intelligence, it's in the news from the reliable writers. I wouldn't call their name, but you know who are the reliable writers. There are about 5 of them in Guyana. They have written about Exxon getting a receipt and not paying the taxes. Well, any accountant will know you can't do that. You can't take a receipt and don't pay it and claim it. Whistleblower Act will find out. Ladies and gentlemen, these are trying times, and we need to stop tearing down and build for the better. Guyana is blessed with all those riches. It's now for manage it properly, and the time is now. Maybe the events of Mahdia is a sign from Almighty. We have to think about that. Maybe it's a sign of what's wrong in our society and have a reevaluation, a relook, a re-examination of our inner self. And above all, let's be true to thine own self. That's in the Holy Book, and I'm quoting it. In the sorrowful days, may God, Allah, Ram, Sita, Vishnu, Abraham, Yahweh, and the African God of peace, Abatala, be with you and all of us in Guyana, and especially at this time for the suffering, hurting families in Mahdia. Good night.